Let me guess, you're thinking in buying an electric vehicle, whether it's a Tesla or Ford Mach-E or any of the thousands of electric vehicles that are coming out, but some people are saying that they're more expensive to maintain and some people are saying that they're not. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience on how much I actually spent in maintenance costs. Not only that, I'm also going to be comparing it on how much my gas-powered vehicle costs me, and then I'm going to make a comparison so you can see how much you can save or how much more you could spend by moving or migrating into an electric vehicle. Now, before we start, I do want to leave a disclaimer because I know there's going to be some people probably commenting in the comment section below saying, oh my God, this is not true, this is not correct, this is not accurate. I'm only talking about my own experiences, what happened, and these are my facts. I mean, I could show you guys receipts if you want to, but I don't think that's gonna be necessary. But just keep that in mind. This was my experience. This is what happened to me. And I know that everybody has different experiences, so it may be different for you. Also, if you're feeling generous today, please help this channel by smashing that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to know more about Teslas. I do got some more videos coming up this week, and I think you might be interested, especially that full self-driving subscription. I'm going to be talking and giving some feedback about that. But anyways, now let's go ahead and begin, guys. It's going to be a fairly simple and short video, so go ahead, sit back and relax. Now, number one, for my Tesla, how much am I spending on Tesla maintenance, on an electric vehicle maintenance expense? Well, there will be a list, but the first thing I would want to talk about would be the brakes. So a lot of people are concerned about when and how often do you have to change brakes for electric vehicles. At least in my Tesla, I've had the Tesla for 1 year, but doing some research, it seems to be that brakes, you don't have to replace them almost at all, because normally the car has a regenerative braking system, which pretty much means that whenever you stop accelerating, the car automatically starts braking to charge the battery, but it's not using the brakes, it's using some sort of motor. And because your car is doing that, pretty much you rarely get to use the brakes unless you're just purposefully pressing on the brakes, which again, it's kind of rare if you have that setting on. So when it comes to brakes, you should really expect to change them probably every 4 to 5 years. But again, that's based on normal average driving. I know everybody could be different. So for the first 2 years, brakes are definitely not going to be an expense. So that's $0. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about are tire rotations. Now, for me, they are free because I work at a tire shop. And the few times I took my Tesla to the Tesla service center, they don't often give you tire rotations, or if they did, they didn't tell me they did. So I would say that if you want to get your tire rotations, which is recommended every 6,000 miles, maybe consider $15 of maintenance, just to make sure your tires are wearing evenly, which again, that should be every 6 months. So in total of 2 years, we're looking at around $60 worth of expenses for tire rotations. And honestly, if you feel like you could probably just do the rotations yourself and save those 60 bucks, go have a nice meal with a friend. Next, the third thing I want to talk about pretty much are tires. Now, tires are pretty much warranted to last around 45,000 miles, which should not be giving you any issues for the first 4 to 5 years. In my case, on my first year, putting almost 30,000 miles, I still had over 50% of the tread on the tires. So yeah, you shouldn't be expecting to spend anything at all for tires within the first 2 years. Fourth would be any engine repair or engine light repairs. Ironically enough, the Tesla does have an engine light, which makes no sense because there's no engine or motor. However, I got it once because there was a faulty battery, which again, I took back to Tesla. Tesla repaired it. It was within warranty and I absolutely paid for nothing. Also keep in mind, since there's no engine, no motor, no nothing, it's very unlikely that you're going to be getting check engine lights compared to a regular motor vehicle. Next thing, which is one of the most obvious things of going with an electric vehicle, is no oil changes. I honestly hate changing the oil either myself or taking it to a shop. It's just like one of those things that I just hate doing because you spend money, you spend time, and you have to do it every like 2 to 3 months. So thankfully for electric vehicles, there's absolutely no oil changes, which again, depending on what type of oil change you do or what type of oil you use, you're looking at around 60, I would say again, $40 to $60. So again, I personally like always to go full synthetic on my normal vehicles, but in this case, I don't do that in Tesla, so that's going to be absolutely no cost. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know from what I've heard, is that the Teslas or electric vehicles, the only liquid they have is a windshield wiper liquid. But I'm sure brakes or something, there has to be some sort of liquid for some other stuff or components of the vehicle, but again, I'm not sure. And then finally, the last thing I do want to talk about electric vehicles is gas. Of course, you don't spend on gasoline, but you do spend on supercharging. And this is something that you should be aware. Now, supercharging has been known to be expensive. Compare almost to gas. I mean, I would say here in Vegas, at least, it's roughly 60% comparable to the expense of gas. But at least when I've had my Tesla, I always charge it during night and I drive it during day. So normally it's very rare for me to take it to a supercharger. And again, ideally you would want to charge your car in your house, drive it during the day, and then charge it again at night once it's about to die. Now, again, if you are thinking and having an electric vehicle and using superchargers all day long, then maybe you're gonna be spending almost the same amount you're spending in gasoline right now, which would kind of defeat the whole purpose of moving to an electric vehicle, other than, of course, you're saving the environment and it's not as bad for the environment, in other words. Now, in terms of how much my electricity bill went up for me charging my vehicle pretty much every day for 30 days, pretty much was insignificant. I maybe noticed anywhere between $4 to $10. And honestly, it wasn't even that. I'm just allocating something because I feel like if I don't, then people are going to say I'm lying. But honestly, I pay roughly $40 to $60 a month. You know, sometimes I use more the AC, sometimes I don't. And so I didn't see any significant increase when it came to charging my car, which was pretty good. Now, again, the benefit of most electric vehicles is their warranty as well, because at least for the Tesla, I mentioned earlier in this video that I had an issue with the battery. So normally for the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive, it's 8 years of warranty or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first, which honestly, that's really, really, really good. Now, all the other models or all the other Tesla models only increase their mileage warranty. So they all have an 8-year warranty or up to 150,000 miles, which again, it's pretty good. So honestly, for the first year of operation on the Tesla Model 3 for maintenance cost, all I had to spend for an entire year was $150. And for 2 years, that would be $300. Now you might say, where did that number come from? Well, I'm putting $15 for 2 tire rotations, for the whole year. That would be $30. And then I'm putting $10 of electricity, which I'm being quite generous here, which would amount to $120, making it $150 for the 1 year, making it for 2 years, $200 or $300 in this case. And again, I'm being straight honest, guys. I didn't have to pay for brakes, tires, anything else, any sort of maintenance. I didn't have to spend any money at all. Now going down with my motor vehicle, let's go ahead and start with my number one least favorite, which is oil changes. Like I said earlier, I'm spending anywhere between $40 to $60 on oil changes. So we're just gonna leave them at $50. Now keep in mind that some new vehicles, if you're getting your vehicle brand new, some dealerships will give you oil changes and inspections and all this for free, just to make sure that the car is being maintained. So I believe they offer that up to 2 to 3 years. I've never heard a dealership offer that for over 3 years. So just, have that in mind too. But in my case, I'm still spending $50 around every quarter, which would make it $200 for the year and $400 for a 2-year maintenance estimate. The second thing I want to talk about is gas. Absolutely, I'm going to be talking about gas because again, I think that's one of the biggest cost savings factor when it comes to an electric vehicle if you're charging home. So per week, I'm putting around $40 of gas, and keep in mind that the price of gasoline in Vegas at this time is around $4 per gallon. If you have a truck, you're obviously going to be putting probably $100 a week. But for now, if we multiply those $40 by the 2 years, that would bring us to $4,160. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is the brakes. So at least every 2 years, you want to get your brakes inspected and checked. And again, I work in an automotive shop or repair shop. So sometimes customers every 2 years, they have to at least turn their discs or their rotors or replace some pads because, they just gone through them and it's just time to replace them. So in this case, I will put a $500 brake job or every 2 years. Now the next thing would be tire rotations, which in this case, again, I'm going to be just putting $30 every year or $60 for 2 years. For tires, I'm not going to put any maintenance because just, like an electric vehicle, a motor vehicle, gas powered vehicle, it's the same. There's no significant difference in here when it comes to tires. Now the next thing would be the check engine light or any repairs to the engine or transmission, which again, I'm not going to add any of those, considering that those are very likely and very costly compared to an electric car. But again, I'm just going to assume that you bought a brand new car or that the car is just kind of new. So I'm just gonna put a 0 maintenance expense when it comes to these things for the first 2 years. But still, now adding all those expenses for 2 years, that would bring us to around $5,060. Again, most of that expense is gonna be mainly gasoline, but making the comparison with an electric vehicle, that's $210 more per month on a gas powered vehicle. Now think about it, $210, that's a lot of money. Just to put it in perspective, if you were to buy a Tesla Model 3 right now, even with these high pricing that we got going on, even with Tesla, and you would get your car delivered in until the end of 2022, you would be looking at a monthly payment at around $650 for the vehicle. Now, if we were to compare that with a Sentra, Nissan Sentra, again, Nissan Sentra and a Tesla Model 3, I mean, clearly not on the same level. A Nissan Sentra right now is gonna go roughly for $416 for a monthly payment, while the Tesla, again, is gonna go for $650, roughly. But if you consider the maintenance costs that a Nissan Sentra might cost you, then suddenly those $200, if you add them in there because of gas and other stuff that you might need, then suddenly it becomes a $630 car compared to a $650 car, which again, it's nowhere near, So definitely there's some savings when using electric vehicles. I personally feel that all the people who give a hard time to electric vehicles or say that electric vehicles don't save you money and that they're just worse are personally people that I've never seen them drive or own electric vehicles. So I personally don't think they're being fair. Maybe they just, it's like those people who complain about Apple devices but have never really owned one. It's like, I don't know. But I guess my question to you here would be, what do you think? Do you really think that owning an electric vehicle actually saves you money compared to just a regular gasoline powered vehicle? And again, right now, technically, there's no cheap electric vehicle. And by cheap, I mean a $25,000 or $20,000 electric vehicle. Once we have those, I mean, we could see monthly payments of $300, $250 and no gasoline and probably little maintenance as well. But well, guys, again, the overall take I want you to take from this video is that if you're thinking of buying a new car, consider an electric vehicle. And if you don't want an electric vehicle because you just don't want to depend on electricity just yet, at least consider a hybrid. You have to go with at least a hybrid because just the gas savings will definitely make up for all the gas expenditures, oil changes, and all that stuff, So keep that in mind. Hopefully this video was helpful. Again, I'm just sharing what happened to me with my Tesla Model 3, and I really didn't have to spend anything at all. I didn't have to spend in oil changes and gasoline and anything. And anytime I would go to a supercharging station would be, again, mainly because I was renting the car, but 99% of the time I was always charging it in my house. And again, I never noticed a significant oh man, my bill went up to $150 extra. So, just keep that in mind. It's just based on my experience. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button for the channel and subscribe. Again, I will be talking about whether it's worth buying that full self-driving package on a Tesla, kind of the features and benefits that it has. So if you're curious about that video or you want to follow up on that video, make sure to subscribe. And again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.